Privately held, Low6 is an iGames platform which, if you look at the website, says it powers sportsbooks, teams, leagues and brands to acquire and retain audiences around the world. Ben Barker joins us now from the company with some more analysis of this. As I say, you're privately held. I know at some point in the future you've got a plan for an IPO, but at the moment you're building the business behind the scenes, you've done some fundraising or so. I think it's probably a good place to start to ask you to explain a bit more about what you do, how you do it, and the business model generating income.
100%. So as a business, we have three core revenue pillars. First and foremost, we're a free-to-play games provider for the betting operators, particularly in North America, UK, Europe, and Australia. Alongside that, we're also providing gamification products to businesses, predominantly within the sports space. So either teams and leagues, so the likes of the PGA, Cincinnati Bengals, who went to the Super Bowl this year. Hopefully they'll go back again. New clients like the Chargers, they're all using our technology to help them acquire new users and retain them as part of their loyalty and reward schemes. And we also work with brands that are in and around sports. So Vodafone, for example, in Oman will be using our technology, very close neighbour to Qatar, which is hosting the World Cup this year. Alongside our white label gamification business, we also have an affiliate business. So we acquire a lot of users in the US through partnerships with the likes of Learfield schools, so 140 plus schools in the US where we provide technology and picks games. We're acquiring users through those and then looking to monetize those through affiliate revenue. And finally, we have a data pillar as well. So all of these users that we acquire through our various channels, we're then looking to monetize those users directly.
You say we, as in Low6, acquires those clients, those users. You don't manage them, presumably. Are you in the license business, or is it a question of actually taking on this and helping the company make money through their own clients?
So it varies. So within Pillar 1, it's helping them monetize their audiences. So in that case,
that's the free-to-air.
Yeah, with the free-to-play pieces. So in those cases, the operators that we work with, so the likes of Sportsbet.io, which is one of the leading crypto sports betting operators, we help them acquire their users. But where we have our own market access deals with the likes of Learfield, those users are ours, and we're then monetizing those users.
Yeah. You've been raising some money. I understand you're going through, as we speak, another raise. What are you doing with that money? What are you trying to achieve out of that to continue to grow the business?
Sure. I mean, at the heart of the business, we're a technology and data business, and obviously that's something that is, never stands still. So we're constantly investing in the proprietary tech that sits underneath our platforms, enabling us to make sure that we continue at the cutting edge within that space, and make sure that our games and our experiences and our platforms are all delivering better conversion metrics than anything else in the space, which we believe they very much are today, and we have to make sure that they remain in that sort of market-leading space.
And of course, presumably there's a certain amount of research and development that goes into what it is you're offering. You've got to keep on top of things. Is that a very expensive process to keep your product fresh and inviting?
It absolutely is, and obviously, we are also very much aware of what's around us. So, whether it's TikTok, which obviously exploded over the last couple of years, we're constantly understanding what the type of engagement consumers want, because we have to offer them what they want. We also have to be careful that we make sure that we don't try and create behaviours. Sports fans in particular, don't change an awful lot over time. They change how they consume, but what they consume stays pretty consistent. So often we're taking the conversations that would happen between you or I in a pub and taking it into the digital space, and making sure that it's through a medium that they understand and they're regularly consuming outside of sport.
Presumably, as an end user, no one really knows much about Low6. I guess they never come into contact with you as a company, do you? How do you go about acquiring new clients then? These big movers, you've mentioned Vodafone, and not many companies bigger than that in that sort of space. How do you go about acquiring these new relationships?
Sure. So the business initially, before we moved more into the B2B space, has a game in the UK called UltimateFan. So that's our sort of market-leading fantasy product, which during the Euros, for example, was one of the the top revenue grossers in the App Store. So those sorts of calling cards are massively helpful. But then I guess, like most traditional businesses, we're out talking to influencers, talking to networks, and getting into organizations. So whether it's the leagues, whether it's the betting operators, or whether it's the brands, we're constantly out talking to them, showcasing the work that we're doing, using the case studies that we have as to why we can help them acquire at a much more efficient or a better ROI than anything else in the marketplace.
My understanding is as well, you have been nominated for a number of awards. What sort of awards is there in this space? Because I go back to this idea of the fact that you're not well known to the end user, but obviously amongst the business, and you're well respected as a company that provides these services.
Yeah, I mean, the business has been very lucky that we've won a number of awards, both as rising star, but also for our fantasy product and our picks products. And overall, the company probably over the last couple of years has won its fair share of awards, which is great for the team. And it's really important that the team are recognised as part of what they do day in, day out for the company.
Yeah, how many staff have you got on board at the moment? What's your head count?
Yeah, we're just under 30 people at the moment, split between a couple of countries in Europe, but also in North America. And we've very much seen North America and a number of the grey markets, Latin America and Asia being part of our acceleration as we grow over the next couple of years. And
of that head count, how many of that are involved in the technology side of it? Is it mostly tech?
Yeah, it is mostly a tech team. Surrounded by that, we have a commercial team. We have a customer success team to help ensure that the customers that we do bring on board have the best possible experience, and they want to continue doing more work with us.
One final question has to be about this idea of listing on the market. What would persuade you to go to the market to list in an IPO? Do you see that as an advantageous development at a point of which you then developed into a certain sort of company that you're not at the moment? What are the catalysts that are going to lead you through to the door of the London Stock Exchange?
I mean, I think like most businesses of our size and scale, we're looking to get to break even and profitability, and then we're looking to really accelerate, and hopefully that makes us a business that becomes attractive to taking to IPO, whether it be in the UK or in other markets.
In the current economic environment, is that further off, do you think, this break-even point, or do you see yourself as being fairly well insulated from the downturn? We're hearing a lot of issues with affordability or lack of affordability amongst households, probably the very people that play games on the platforms you're talking about. Or do you see this as an area where people perhaps maybe keep that to one side and just keep it going, disregarding the pressures on household budgets?
I mean, obviously the pressures on households are very real across the world, but I think we do a lot of work in North America and in Latin America. North America is a good example. There are lots of states that are still to be regulated, and they're opening up on a regular basis. So really the US, although is one country, is 50 plus separate opportunities for us as a business. And every year, every month almost, there are new states opening up to regulation, and that presents massive opportunities for us. And they're hungry to engage with the betting space in a regulated environment. And then you look to Latin America, incredibly excited for the World Cup coming up, and we've got a number of projects going live around the world for the World Cup, and that's we don't see necessarily a slowdown. We only see the opportunity at the moment.
Okay, well, best of luck, Ben Barker.
Appreciate it.
Thanks indeed for joining us from Low6. Thank you.
Thank you.